don't have to do an installation of electric, water, and sewage for every single one. If I had to do one for each, it'd be like 30K for every single property before I even touch any building, anything. So I
Yeah.
can't do that. That'd be fucking impossible. So if he can figure out a way to be 30K for like 4 houses, though, I would definitely do that.
Yeah, I can't believe they let you just kind of run and then not give you like at least a warning or something. Like, hey, listen,
Yeah.
you gotta pipe it down. But
The thing that they're doing though is basically a warning because they're not going to find me or anything.
yeah,
So they're just going to say like you can't do this anymore. And I'm going to be like, I wasn't planning on it, but yeah. So it's exciting though to be in talks with like actual engineers to try to figure out something that's like a legitimate house because I can charge like 2 or 3x the rent. I can market it way better. If I had four of them and like I literally put a 10 on a platform. So if I guarantee you if I had a house, it'd make at least 3 or 4x what a tent would make. So if I could make like $25,000 from one structure and have four of them, then that potentially could be like 100K of income a year. Um, Plus, I'd have equity in the company. Like I would be
Mm.
building them all like myself and learning how to do all that. And yeah.
How are you going to get the initial funding for it?
So my parents own the property and I'm basically going to pitch it to them like a Shark Tank where I'm like, you guys will own the majority of the company and I'll build this on the property. And then eventually I'll dilute my shares down to the point where I only own a third and they own 2/3. And then they get to keep 66% of all the money that is made on the property. Because the whole point of me building in the first place was that I wanted to make an income from the property itself. Like I want the property to make money so that they can spend that money on like landscape. Like when my parents get older, my dad's not going to want to be like plowing the driveway and doing all this shit. Like they're just going to want to chill. So if they had like a way to make money off the property, that's like the whole goal in the first place. So yeah, that's
yes,
the kind of the only way it would work is if I do all of the sweat equity and then they pay for it and then they get to keep like at least 50% and then over time they get to keep more percentage of it just so they can make enough money where it's like worth their while. But it's still just like proof of concept version 2 and then whenever this one works, then I'll use this as another proof of concept to make another one with 10 somewhere else in like Pennsylvania or
Yeah.
some other shit and actually own the full equity in that and get like a bank loan instead of having to sell equity like I am right now. So yeah,
Damn. Sounds like a good plan.
I hope.
okay, guys. So I think I figured this out. Uh, I was wondering why we were not live yet, to be honest, because I accidentally clicked start streaming, and then I realized it was recording to a different what's it called? I don't know, stream link. Either way, I think we're live, ready to go. So welcome back, everyone. Hopefully, everyone had a fantastic 2024 or start to the year. For me, I was just nonstop traveling, so I'm super happy to be back. It's been like 4 weeks now, or it feels like 4 weeks. I think it's been like more like 3 weeks, 3.5, because I was sick, really sick the first one. So,
Where you been traveling to?
so I was in South Germany for like 10 days, and then I was in Poland for yeah, actually almost like 8 days or something like that for a ski trip. I have a friend that lives in South Poland. We did a little bit of skiing down there.
Yeah, they look fun.
Yeah, so yeah, now I'm back. How about you guys? I know Colby was telling us just now about the housing project. I'm not sure how much got caught on the stream, but I think like half of it, at least near the end, for sure.
It's fine. This is a trading podcast.
Yeah, yeah. But yeah, anything you guys want to share in terms of like how your years ended and started, if it's trading related or anything else you think is relevant?
Go ahead, Tom.
Yeah, so 2023 locked up only about 15% more in profit than 2023, which I mean, on the one hand is like something to be definitely proud of because there's definitely a lot less opportunity in 2023 than 2022 as far as amount of gappers
Yeah.
and volume in the market. But definitely I have not hit my stride. Still don't feel like I've really hit my stride yet in 2023, and I think 2024 could definitely bring some more opportunity for me to kind of hit those big winners and size up. So that's what I've been doing the past couple of weeks. And so far, the past 2 or 3 weeks, I've definitely been hitting some bigger winners, having some more consistent bigger days. And hopefully, right around the corner, I'm feeling a nice big 1K day. I haven't had my first 1K day ever yet. The last time I had a profit day over 1,000 was when I first started trading in 2020, and I was bag holding this stock that was like a COVID airport testing, swab testing stock, and I thought it was gonna be the best business idea ever. I thought this thing was going to the moon. I buy it at $2. The next day it opens up at $5 a share. I I
Jesus.
double my $2,500 investment at 5,000. So I made $2,500 overnight. I'm like, oh man, trading. I'm gonna do this every single day. This is great. Um, I can make $1,000 overnight. This is the life. And little did I know I would not ever have a day over $1,000. Still yet, 3 years, well, I guess 3.5 years later, still here working for that 1K day. I'll get there eventually. But yeah, the next day after that, to continue the story, after I made $2,500 overnight, I got back in because thought it wasn't going to stop at $5. I thought it was going to go to $7, $10, $15. Because I'm like, oh, this COVID thing, everyone's going to start buying all these testing kits at the airport because they want to fly in planes and stuff. And yeah, the next day it went down to like $2, then $1, then 50 cents, and eventually got delisted. So I lost all of my profit that I made shortly after over the course of weeks and weeks and weeks and weeks until eventually I had like only a couple $100s in my account. So I lost pretty much $2,500 in profit and $2,500 of my own money. And now I'm left with like, what the heck do I do now? I mean, like, then from there I started trading, started focusing on day trading, Ross Cameron's kind of momentum strategy with about one share until I started to get some consistency. But I knew it was going to be like years until I ever saw that money again, that $5,000 that I once had. Um, and I took it slow, one share at a time, eventually sizing up to 100 shares at a time. Now I'm making, let's say, $50 a day, $25 a day. Now sizing it up to 500 shares. Now I'm starting to make like 100, 200, $300 a day, which was like around 2022, 2023. And now just recently I'm bumping it up to 1,000 to 500, 1,000 to 1,500 shares or 2,000 shares at sometimes. And now I'm starting to see more consistent $300 days, $500 days, $600 days. And I'm happy I definitely took that slower approach to it. I didn't immediately be like, oh my God, I got to make this $2,500 back like immediately right now. Um, I knew it was going to be a long time, so I saw that money back and to where I could even make $2,500 again. And I'm still on the road there, but it's been 3 years and slowly inching my way towards being able to do like something like that, $2,500 in one day, which would be, I would be through the roof if I start doing that again, but consistently. But yeah, it's all about taking the long road to getting to success. So that's sort of my story there. Those of you who are new to the podcast.
That was compelling. I was on like the edge of my seat. That was sick. That's crazy that you made 2,500. I thought my story about when I made like $750 overnight, I was like, damn, I'm gonna do that every day too. And then obviously I never did it again. But that's crazy you blew that account up
Yeah.
straight from
It,
five
I,
grand
I
back
think
to
it's
zero.
yeah, I think it's almost a rite of passage of just blowing up an account. Just don't blow up a $50,000 account or a hundred
Yeah.
thousand dollar account. You definitely wanted to keep it in your means. So it's definitely smart to just start with like a few $1,000s, 5,000. I wouldn't give any more than $10,000 for your first account, for sure.
Yeah, unless you have like $1 million net worth and yeah.
Yeah,
But you know,
yeah.
those millionaires, they're gonna put 100K in an account. Probably.
Yeah.
Um,
Yep.
my story, so I was obsessed with studying all of last year, and then towards the end of the year, I kind of was like, I'm studying so much. I'm not learning anything new. I'm just kind of rehashing old things and changing my strategy all the time. Let me just say, fuck all that. I'm only gonna just trade one single strategy. If it doesn't exist today, I don't trade. Doesn't exist tomorrow, I don't trade. Doesn't exist the next day, I don't trade. If it only exists once per month, that's the day I'm gonna trade it, and that's what I've been doing for basically all of December. So right at the beginning of December, I started a an Apex account, which is a 50K evaluation account. So you have to make $3,000. Once you make $3,000, you pay them $150 for like a lifetime funded account, and then you can trade with real money. And then once you make over $500, you can withdraw that money. So it's basically like me sitting around like, well, why am I going to trade my own money if I can just pay $16 and have potentially access to $50,000 to trade with? So I did that in the beginning of December. Um, and my whole goal, I've passed one of these before, but I really was just like hardly trading it. I just kind of like YOLO'd one big trade, made like 2,500 in one trade, and then just was like, oh, cool, I'm funded. And then I just blew up the funded account like a week later because
Mhm.
I never was using a strategy anyway. I just YOLO'd to make it in the first place. So this time I was going to do it differently and just make sure that I wasn't YOLOing anything. It was just straight up like my strategy, only trade that. And then today actually is the day that I just finally passed the $3,000 threshold to like be able to trade with real money. So like starting tomorrow, I'll actually be trading with like real money again with a 50K account through Apex doing futures. So yeah, and that took like a month. And the reason another thing that I was doing is fully stopping studying because I was studying so much that I truly there's nothing else I could have learned. I had enough information to make money, but I was just disseminating the information wrong every single day through and through. So I was like, screw it, let me stop studying. I bet I do better because a lot of the trading is about never asking why. Like if you're asking why while something is actually occurring in front of your face, the only thing you're doing is not trading. Like the thing that actually matters is what. Like if the stock is going up and there's the higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows over and over again, and someone's sitting there like, oh my God, what's their phase of their study of their drug and what's the market cap and all this shit. And it's like, no, just fucking trade it. Like stop. If you try to think why too much, you end up getting analysis paralysis. It doesn't work that often. Like, so yeah, so I tried to stop doing that and it's helping me a lot. Like I am way more just like log into my computer at 9 o'clock, mark my spots, and then if I hit one of them, I take the trade. If it doesn't, I don't, and that's it. So this is like the first time where I like slowly made gains up to $3,000, and then I got the account. So I'm excited to start trading with real money again because it was getting annoying trading with like knowing that I'm literally paper trading. I'm still trading the actual market data, but I was paper trading basically because in those evaluation accounts, it's not real money.
Yeah.
But I'm sure it's not real money in the actual funded account either, but at least I can make money. So like even though if my orders probably aren't like technically literally going through the exchanges, but if I make whatever $3,000, I can withdraw that money. So I'm excited about that. It'll be fun.
You don't think that's real money? I mean, shouldn't it be real money? That's why like they
It's called B-booking. We talked about it before, but most companies that are prop firms that are online, they're not doing a booking. So whenever you're getting a booked, that means that your orders are literally going into the market. And no prop firm that's online does that because imagine, okay, there's a lot of people that just YOLO their evaluation account and they'll just get funded like the next day. And they're like, oh, wow, I'm funded. I can make money now. They just pay $150 and then bam, they blow it up because they didn't have a strategy. They don't know what the fuck they're doing. They're just like super sized up big win. Those kinds of people are a big liability for these online prop firms because if you actually gave those people 50 grand, they're going to lose 2 grand of that money almost guaranteed. 95% of the time, they're going to lose all that 2 grand until they blow up that account. So why would these companies take a $2,000 risk on a guy that just YOLO'd to only pay them 100? He only paid them $150 to get the account, so they can't risk 2 grand. So I understand why they're not doing it because they would literally lose all of their money.
right. It's like
But
a big hedge for them just to not trigger those orders.
yeah, so all they're really doing now is it's still basically like paper trading, but the money I make, they have to pay it to me or I've never heard of no one getting paid through Apex at least,
Yeah.
but there are other like sketchy online firms that would be I actually know a guy that he was doing like an offshore online brokerage, and they said that they couldn't pay him because the way he traded was risky or
Mm.
something crazy like that. And I was like, that's not their, they can't fucking do that. But it was an offshore broker, so they just took his money and ran basically. But
Yeah, there's
Apex, yeah, but Apex and Top Step are kind of like, I mean, if they went down, like it would be a big issue.
yeah,
So
if you're gonna do put your money on some broker, you want to go with the best and most reputable. Otherwise, there's just too many scams in this business. I mean, even
yeah,
something that you think is reputable, like FTX, you know,
yep,
it's
yeah.
so it's oh
And there's an online firm that actually did blow up like last year, and they were pretty reputable. I mean, they weren't like as good as Apex and Top Step, but it was called like the Funded Trader, I think.
yeah.
And that one blew up, and everyone that had accounts under them lost all of their money. But the thing is, though, like they didn't lose any real money because all the fucking money's fake anyway. So I don't know. Either way, all I know is if I make $1,500, if I make over $500, I can take the money out. So that's all
So
I give a fuck
so
about. So
basically, probably within a few weeks or months or whatever their time period is, they'll eventually place your orders on the real market, I guess. And right now
there
you're
is.
yeah.
So if you actually do really well through one of these online firms, there's actually a maximum amount of money that you can make through them. So like once you hit like I think it's somewhere around like $800,000, they'll actually take your account and literally transfer your account to a real prop firm.
Huh.
So they work with like other prop firms like that are legitimate like in-house prop shops, and they'll give your account basically to them, and then you'll basically work for a prop firm, but it's still like your own money and everything like that.
So
But
it's
it'll
like a
be a
giant
real account.
screening process almost.
No, it's literally just like, hey guys, like pay $15 for an evaluation account. 100,000 people do it. Maybe 1,000 people like pass the evaluation phase, and then out of those 1,000, maybe 100 people are gonna be like actually getting a payout. So these guys make so much money though from the selling the dream of trading. That's for sure.
Wow. Shows how little I knew
Yeah.
about the prop firms.
Yeah, honestly, I want to just make as much money as I can off of them because every dollar I make is a dollar that they don't make.
Cruel. But makes sense. You should definitely make a video about that or about some prop stuff on your channel.
Yeah. I just want to make sure that before I do anything, I get a payout. Like once I get one payout, then I'm like, okay, now we can like start getting the ball rolling. Like until I do that, there's a ton of fucking people that have gotten funded already. So it's like, did I do something cool to get funded? Fuck no. Until I get like at least one payout, then it's like, okay, well now you've done at least like 1% of all the traders that are doing that thing are probably getting payouts.
Yeah.
So once I do that, then I'll be more willing to be like talking about it. But I hate talking about some shit and then it's like, oh yeah, a week later I blew everything up. So yeah, that's where I'm at. So
I guess I could share a little bit. I don't want to. I feel like there's, you know, we've summed up so much, but I'll just in the last few weeks and even months, I took a little bit of a quote unquote sabbatical from YouTube, just because the market's been so slow, and I found that it was a great time to work on other projects. So I don't regret it. I think it worked really well, and I would definitely do it again. But right now, market's heating up, so I want to get a little bit more geared up. I'm trading a little bit longer today, although today didn't really pay off, unfortunately. But right now, I think sticking around a little bit longer is definitely the way to go. So that's kind of like my new mentality going forward for 2024. 2023 was just a pretty slow one overall. I ended green, but it kind of irrelevant a little bit. I also just took a lot of time off. I took like probably a total of like 3 or 4 months off completely. So if you add maybe even more if you add up all the missed trading days. Yeah, so that's it. I really like the action we've been seeing here in the markets. It seems like it's a little bit spotty. Like you'll have like 2 days that are okay, or even like one day a week, or maybe two back to back, then it's quiet again for 5 days. So it's been a little bit tricky, and kind of what Tom was saying earlier was sizing. It's like you're trying to size, but you're like, okay, wait, today's not the day. So you have to really be selective and patient for when you actually should be sizing. Yeah, that's that's how I feel right now.
Yeah, you guys had like a really hot cycle in December.
Yeah, December was pretty solid. I was getting a little bit of FOMO because I took yeah maybe 2 weeks off in December. One because I was really sick on that first week, and the second week I was on the road, and I got a few trades in on the train and stuff like that. But it's you're not trading the same when you're on a train with bad internet. So
Yeah, December was really hot compared to the other months. I wouldn't say it was like as hot as we've seen like in 2021 or 2022, but compared to the rest of 2023, December was probably the best month as far as quality and volume and amount of gappers. It all started with VVOS. If anyone has their charts open, or I can just show it here.
yeah, if you
It
got
all
it.
started with VVOS at the end of November. Let me pull this up here. Oh, this one, VVOS. This was the one that kicked off. Um, can you guys see that?
Not
Yeah,
yet. Maybe in a sec.
I can
Oh,
see
Oh,
it.
I think you have to
I gotta
click on
watch
it.
the
Yeah.
stream. Yeah, I
Okay.
clicked the wrong button.
Yeah, so it all started with VVOS here. Let me see if I can pull up the 90 day and see if I can go back farther. Is that it? Yeah. Yeah, so this stock here went from $4 to $48. It ripped all day long.
Yeah, that looks good.
Prior to VVOS, the market was slow. Literally September, October, most of November. This stock here on the end of November, 11/29/2023, this kicked off momentum for December. This thing ripped pre-market, and everyone was like, guys, give me another capping crap. Shorts are going to be on this. It's up from 4 to 13. When is the last time you've seen something go 4 to 13? This is just overextended. Everyone's going to short this at the open. And it holds the lows. And this is something that hasn't happened often in 2023, is something that rips from 4, so it's about almost 200%, and then holds its range and continues higher. This is
Yeah,
like the 1% of stocks
it looks
that we
so
saw in
good.
2023. And it just absolutely it halts up at the highs, and then after that, rips another from 11 up to $19, so it's $8 a share, and again holds its range. This is something that does not happen in 2023. This never happens. This usually it makes its move at most. It makes its move and then fades all the way back down to where it came from. But it held its highs, man. And this thing, when you see something like this, where we rip 300% and we're holding highs for like an hours all day long, you have to keep this on your watch. You have to keep this on your watch list. It's definitely more likely to continue higher, holding these highs, especially after such a big move. It's showing its mate. It's showing its mate. It's capable of making big moves, and it's made a big move already. And then look at this thing, man. Like power hour, this thing takes off. Like $17 up to 48, and this is within what is that? An app. Yeah, within an hour, it goes from $17 to $48. Shorts got absolutely smoked on this. I know there's some traders out there that lost like pretty much blew up their account. I've seen some massive losses on Twitter from VVOS. And then after that, we got a bunch of sympathy momentum, and then it kind of just had a snowball effect. And December was really hot. But recently, we've been having some massive flushes, like January, beginning of January, end of December, massive flushes. Like we're talking 33%, 40% flushes in an instant. And once longs start seeing stuff like that, we start to kind of back off a little bit and get less aggressive because the risk, it's showing that the risk is real high
Yeah,
when you're trading near the highs. But that's sort of kind of a rundown that we got the past month. I
yeah, I
can,
like that breakdown. I've been also keeping track of tickers I trade, just a little bit of what's the market cap, what's the shares outstanding, the float, And also if there's a multi-day runner, and most tickers are not multi-day runners. It looks like I actually don't have the statistic on this one. I would have to
Did
count.
have one multi-day runner.
Yeah,
It was a
exactly.
CCCC.
Yeah,
This one was a 3-day gap and go. That one was also insane.
yeah. There's been some nice ones, but it's yeah, in terms of, holding longer, I know we were talking a little bit in the Discord about, trying to hold tickers longer. And I just don't know if I want to go back down that road to hold for an overnight. It really does not seem something that is a healthy way to trade. Maybe if we get into an environment where there's just one overnight after another, that's something you would maybe throw out and like,
Yeah.
okay, I know I can do this, or like right now it's the right environment for it, so let me do it. But just randomly trying to hold tickers overnight right now is not a good time, I feel like. And holding longer is also very difficult because, you're up 5% and then you're like, well, if I was day trading, I would close this, but then you trip over yourself. So I think for me this year, the only thing I'm doing besides my core front side trading strategy, momentum trading strategy, is swing trading as well, trying to find some improve my strategy there because I feel like I've come a little bit full circle with my swing trading strategy. And that's mostly large caps. That has nothing to do with small caps. So I just want to keep practicing that. Um, but yeah, just keep it
Yeah, I agree
really
with you on that.
simple this year. Keep it really, do it works ultimately.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree with you on that. We haven't been having anything like overnight gap trade is not is the negative risk reward for sure in this market. 100%.
Yeah.
For every one of these multi-day gappers, you have like 200 that just gap down 50, 60, 80%.
Yeah.
But yeah, my average hold time went from 15 seconds to the end of last year, 5 seconds, 4 seconds is my average hold time. And
Jesus.
my profit has been more consistent than I've ever had in this market. So that's just this market. I'll definitely be willing to open that up if we get into like a really hot cycle, like we've seen in 2020, 2021. If we see something like that, where we wake up and there's a goddamn like 1,000% gapper at 7 a.m., and you bet your ass I'm going to be holding overnight.
Yeah. If we get some
Yeah,
of
you'll
that,
know.
um,
You'll know when to start holding overnight. That's for sure.
Yeah.
that's a little bit how it is, huh? You kind of know when you need to do it, especially once you've been in the game a little bit.
Yeah, I feel like the whole point of trading is like noticing things a little bit faster than the last time you noticed it. Like you'll see, oh, just one big multi-day gapper, and then it won't happen for like 2 weeks, and you're like, yeah, okay, not gonna swing. And then the next time you're like, you see one multi-day gapper, and then the next week there's another one. And you're like, oh shit, that might be a trend. And then the professional is like, okay, I'm gonna start holding swings now. Whereas the non-professional is going to wait for the seventh or eighth multi-day swing they see, and then they're finally going to be like, okay, well now I'm going to hold overnight, and then you just lost 50% overnight. So
Yeah.
hopping on a trend like immediately is so important,
Yeah, you don't want to be the
That's
last
too
one hopping
accurate.
on a trend. That's true.
which is funny because the I was talking to this one guy. He's really smart. He talks a lot about how like AMC and GME, their biggest spikes occur at the very tops of like broader indice moves. So like let's say that the S&P 500 went up 10% in 1 month, like it did in November or December. Well, November was a 10% month. December was a 5% month for the S&P 500. And whenever November went up 10%, I immediately was like, I bet there's going to be so many just dumb money people just flooding into the market now that the market's like back to close to all-time highs. And that's whenever the market started getting hot in small caps because usually the dumbest of dumb money flood in at the top, right? And we're about to approach all-time highs on most of the indices. We have broken it on a couple of them. Um, and then usually that's like the exact moment where everyone floods into small caps. So it's like it makes sense that December was a hot month after November being a 10% gain in the S&P 500. I don't even know what it was for the Nasdaq. It had to have been, let's see, 11% in November and 9% in December. That's crazy. Yeah, this guy he like overlaid AMC with the S&P 500 on like a 4-hour chart, and it literally was like S&P 500 top, 2 days later, AMC big ass gap, massive flush, and then S&P 500 top. 2 days later, AMC big gap up, massive flush down. And it's like it makes sense that everyone floods in at the very end whenever the trend is over, and all the people that made the money are getting out.
Gives me a little bit of a crypto vibe where it's like all your friends are talking about it for weeks
Yeah.
or months, and then you're like, all right, finally gonna buy some. And usually if yeah, that's when you should be selling. Ultimately is when the people at the office or your school or wherever you hang out, your gym, are talking about
Yep.
buying crypto. That's it's pretty much a sure sign that it's extended and it's about to
Or
pull back.
if you're about to screenshot your gains, the second you're about to do that, you better fucking sell everything.
It better be
I've been doing
realized.
that that's like a genuine thing I've been doing recently. Like whenever I'm about to tell someone something, I'm like, okay, stop. Sit back, relax. If you're gonna tell them this, you're probably gonna fuck it up, or this is the end of this
Yeah.
little trend. Okay, so yeah.
You're
Yeah,
making me
never
nervous about my
share
Pfizer trade.
unrealized.
Sorry.
I said never share unrealized gains.
Amen.
Yeah, for real.
Are
You
you
think we're
guys
getting back into a Bitcoin run?
hard to say.
Think we're gonna break highs?
I have a
I
little bit of crypto left over from just random accounts that and wallets, but I don't know how much I'm gonna size into it myself. But I could see crypto getting a new all-time high for sure.
When's the ETF getting approved?
That I don't know if there's a date yet, but it's in discussion. But I think if I did trade crypto, I would actually probably buy the Bitcoin futures unless the ETF came out. I know that's like so anti-crypto, but I've just had so much bad experience with crypto that I don't know if I actually want to buy crypto itself unless I need to for a specific reason, like send somebody crypto or something.
Yeah, I feel like the hodlers like really are the ones that get screwed in crypto. The guys that make the money are the ones that just like get in early, get the fuck out, and never go back in. Because
Yeah.
like the people that hold forever, it's like you're running a huge risk. Because like even Binance is like CZ, he had to step down. Like FTX, obviously, the only thing left is like Coinbase.
Yeah, I think that's the problem. It's like if you're hodling and why is that even a word? If you're yeah, if you're like, quote unquote investing in crypto, there is a good chance that wherever you're investing is going to be actually the biggest risk. So if the exchange closes, if you lose your wallet, or you still get hacked somehow, there's so many other factors. It's kind of a little bit like we're day trading and then TOS crashes. You know, every like quarter, I feel like I have a decent red trade because of my tool set ultimately, or the internet or something. Maybe even more than that, actually, probably a few times a quarter. And with crypto, it's a little bit the same. It's like the tools fail on you more than the trade itself.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit unnerving, I would say, with the crypto world. Yeah.
yeah, that's terrifying. Every night I go to sleep just like, okay, well, tomorrow might be the day.
I like with day trading that you're out of all positions. I definitely like
Yeah,
Yeah.
investing and swing trading as well, but that's a little bit of a different risk tolerance because it's a different time frame and a different kind of company as opposed to the day trades. Like I don't know if I could hold these small crap stocks very comfortably overnight. I mean, like some biotech that's raising capital.
I don't know.
No way.
Yeah, that's one huge benefit about trading, like day trading or like scalping, is just the ability to detach after the market close is is it's like invaluable because if I was holding overnight a lot of times I'm sure I would not be able to get any sleep, and it's nice to know that you're all cash at the end of the day.
Yeah, it really
Yeah,
is.
I hate that. I hate that overhead. Just thinking about shit. It's awful
Yeah.
all night.
We've all
There
had
was
that trade.
definitely, yeah. I think last year was probably the biggest lesson for me in 2023 was that I should have been dollar cost averaging at all moments because Man, like, I mean, obviously, yes. Like, I haven't been through crashes and fucking euphoric time. Like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. So whenever I read a bunch of shit and every human being in the world is like giving me just so clear reasons why the entire world's going to end in 1 year, and I believe them, right? Because I'm the idiot, and I don't do the opposite of that. It's like, man, that shit hurts because
Yeah.
fuck, like how many times I was sitting here just like watching insanely valuable companies just drop every day for days and days and days
Dude,
and months, and I didn't buy anything. And then just
don't
like
remind me,
boom,
man.
a month goes by and it's like Nvidia's up 500%. And it's like,
Or
damn, what the
Coinbase like
fuck?
300%. Yeah.
Dude, everything went up like that. And I didn't buy anything, not one thing. I didn't buy a
Nope.
fucking one ticker. I mean, the only now I have like
Nope.
FOMO and I'm buying PayPal because like it's the only fucking thing left that didn't bounce at all, which is probably an awful idea. But it's just like,
Buy
damn,
the
bro.
one
If I
straggler.
no, seriously, if you just dollar cost average, like genuinely shut the fuck up, buy the SPY forever, it's just like, how do you fucking lose? I mean, and it happens so fast. You have to be buying whenever the fear is at peak, or you're not gonna. It doesn't matter. Like you can't wait because the second you wait, you're gonna what? You're gonna buy Nvidia 100% off the lows? Yeah, right. Oh, you're gonna buy Nvidia 200% off the lows? Yeah, right. 300%, 400%, 500%. It just keeps going, and you never buy it because you're like in this huge downtrend. But man, that was the biggest slap in the face for me for sure because I could have made enough money where it didn't even fucking matter if I made any money day trading. I would have made
Hmm.
all of it in swing trading and it would have just been
Yep.
like the craziest little cushion. Yeah.
With swing trading, what I've learned is you have to know your market so well. Not in terms of the industry, you just have to know like the macro market. Like I had some really nice wins with the swing trading when the market was going up and some really big losses when the market was going down. Like you can't be a long bias trader when the general market is going down unless maybe you're buying some dividend or safe stocks, but I think that's one really obvious lesson that we should not overlook. I've made that mistake multiple times, and you just ride these tickers down because ultimately you kind of want to treat swing trading like you're treating day trading. Day trading, it's quite technical. So you're in a backside trend, and you might be thinking, "Oh, like this stock is down 50%. Let me buy it." But it's like, bro, you're on a backside. There's no indicator that this has reversed yet. So I would rather see that move higher, a pull back to support and continuation, a little bit like the classic day trading. So I've switched a lot of my swing trading philosophy to basically be like day trading, but with understanding and what macro wins are behind you, because that'll make a big influence, which makes swing trading a little bit more difficult. Um, I mean, obviously, that's kind of the case in day trading too. You kind of want to know a little bit what the macro is, but if it's a hot ticker, it almost doesn't matter. A hot ticker is a hot ticker with it when it comes to day trading. But with swing trading, there's a lot more to think about, and I think that's what makes it quite difficult, uh, in my experience. Yeah.
Like the time frame part is the hardest for me because it's like, where do I sell? Am I holding this for 10 years? Do I think this is like a deep value play, or am I just like buying something that's extremely cheap right now just because the market went down a lot? So it's like
Yeah.
swing trading is genuine. And then you see like, oh, the market's going to pull back here probably because we had a 15% Q3, and then the market pulls back a little bit and I put my limits out for my swing trade, and then I don't add into it and I miss my ad, and then it goes back up to where it was anyway, and it's like I don't even have the size that I want. I'm going to hold it because this isn't a big enough exit for me because I wanted more size, and then you hold it the whole way back to your entry, and it's like, oh my God, that shit is so hard.
That's what I mean by you want to trade it like or treat it like day trading, where you have your specific rules, your targets, your stops.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you said it exactly. Like if you don't know if you're swing trading or investing, game over. And I've had way too many trades at my level of trading where I turned a swing trade into an investment because I didn't stop out. And then I was like, I really like this company and it's just getting cheaper and I'll just keep buying it. It's like, bro, that's like, if you wanted to do that, that's fine. Like I have nothing against somebody sizing into it if a ticker goes down. I mean, that could be the greatest idea. If your time horizon is 2, 3, 4, 5 years and you love the company, you know a lot about it and you're investing. But if you're swing trading and your goal was, the pullback continuation and that pullback didn't work, why are you not stopped out? Because now you're basically turning one strategy into a different strategy. And that's where I've made all my biggest mistakes when it comes to swing trading, hands down. So yeah, got to be really disciplined. You have to know, okay, I don't know, I like Tesla, it was 10 years ago, and I just want to hodl this company because I want to, support this ecosystem. That would be obviously an investment. But yeah, swing trading, for me, very technical. I have my stops, I have my profit targets. That's why I came out with that Pfizer video yesterday. This is why I entered. This is where I want to exit. Pretty much that simple. This is where I stop out. I actually don't know if I talked about my stop, but yeah, it's for me, that's like a very clear trade. It's basically the 1 minute candles, but on a daily time frame is ultimately how I view that trade.
Yeah, I think honestly everybody would be. I think that honestly, like half of everyone that trades could be a decently profitable trader if they literally just made. I know a lot of people will say this is stupid, but you could literally have a 9 EMA, 20 EMA crossover strategy and do 10 times better than the guy that's like trying to build 10 strategies and trade all these different things at once. And like the only thing that's hard about trading is keeping everything super consistent. And that doesn't mean just making money every day. That means your process. Your process has to be extremely consistent. It needs to be the same thing day in and day out. And for a whole year, all I did was change my strategy a little bit every day. I'd be like, oh, well, now you have to stop after 2 losses in a row. Now you have to stop after this kind of drawdown. Okay, stop trading after this, stop trading after this. And then every day I'm making a roll, and the next day the roll was making me lose money. And it was like, there's got to be a point where it's just like, simple as this. I only go long because the market, if you're trading the indices in general, 7 out of 10 days are going to be green for the whole history of fucking time. So probably should be a long bias trader. So I'm going to be a long bias trader. I'm going to wait for the stock market to hit a 50 moving average, and that is it. I'm going to buy it, and I'm going to hold for an extension of 10% above the 50 moving average on the S&P 500. If that was your whole strategy and that was like a 10-year long strategy, you'd probably be up a fuck ton of money right now. It's just, who has the time to sit and be like, okay, in all of 2023, we hit that 50 AMA one time, and that was my entry, and that was it. I had one trade for the whole year. No, because we all want to go sit and just gamble all day. We want to make trades. We want to make money. Everyone's so like intensely ready to like try to beat the market, and it's like, bro, if you go into this market trying to seek out money, you've already lost, because you're gonna find it in ways that does not exist repeatably. That's the whole point. If you can't repeat it, who gives a shit if you make money? So like anytime anyone ever comes up to you, oh, I made this, unless they have like a 3-year fucking track record, don't listen to anything they fucking say, because they could just be lucky. Like you could be lucky for 3 months, 6 months at a time, and it's like, that's it. And if you change one thing out of your strategy, that whole strategy could be completely flipped upside down and not work anymore. So
yeah, there's a lot of beginner's luck in trading.
oh yeah. And that kind of shit makes you stay in that phase for so long, because you don't even realize that that's like your biggest problem, is that you don't even have a system. Like you don't even have like a way to make sure this is a good ticker to trade. This is, all that kind of stuff. And you like even the turtle traders, the guy that did it, I forget his fucking name. Do you know, Alex? The turtle trader?
Not off the top of my head. It's a good book though.
But I don't know if it was in the book or whatever, the guy said, I could literally write my rules. There's like 7 rules to this strategy in a newspaper and show every single person in the entire world this strategy, and still no one is going to make money, because no one has the discipline to actually follow the fucking rules.
Yeah,
they're all going to try.
Line. That was good.
Some guy's going to buy it at the wrong time because like it kind of touched the 20 EMA, or it kind of did this or whatever. And then they're going to try to make their own biased decision about it, and then they lose money. So
many emotions in trading, so many variables, how you woke up that day. That's why for me, limiting my market exposure is just so important, especially in a slow market. In a hotter market like right now, that's what I was saying in the beginning, it's fine. I don't mind trading longer, and if I make mistakes because I trade longer, I don't think it's necessarily that bad, because there's more opportunities just to make money right now. Well, right now it's a little tough because it's like a hot and cold market, But in 20, let's say 21 or 2020, if you're trading from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m., extended hours and everything, it might actually be fine. But if you're doing that in dead summer last year, you're definitely gonna blow an account and you're gonna go crazy and burn yourself out at the same time.
Yeah. And there are a lot of people that like have been millionaires and they just can't make money anymore. That kind of shit's crazy. It's like you're just in the wrong place, wrong time, and they just are so stubborn that they'll keep doing it, like mad as money. Like guy made $12 million and then now he's just lost. I don't know. I think last year he lost 30 grand total in 2023, but the year before that, I'm pretty sure he also lost a sizable amount. But he made like multiple millions in 1 year, and then for the next 2 years he couldn't make any money. So
Yeah, totally
yeah, it's all.
understandable. With the markets, it's just so important. It's so cyclical. I mean, 2020 was a great year for me, and I wasn't even a great small cap trader back then. I'm not necessarily saying I'm a great one now, but I'm 3 years better than I was back then, and last year was smaller than 2020. In theory, I should be. It's just like trading always messes you up because like everyone else gets their like job, bonus salary, and
Mhm.
every year you get a little bit more increase. With trading, it's like no, these next 3 years are actually going to go down, no matter how
Yeah.
much you try.
Yeah.
Uh, it's a little
Yeah,
stressful.
it's like you want to start a company and you want to like your company to sell newspapers. Well, like no one buys newspapers. So like I don't care how good you are at marketing and selling and all this shit, you're gonna lose 10% extra off the top every year, no matter what, because that's what the trend is. So we're doing the same exact shit in trading. So like, and honestly, whenever people come into trading and they're like, "Oh, I'm gonna fucking make like millions of dollars," and it's like, yeah, you might make a million 1 year or like a couple million in 1 year, but it might be after 10 years of making no money. So
Yeah,
it's really all like in trading is genuinely pretty much the same thing as having a 9 to 5, but we decide when we want to do our work. That is literally the same because in a 9 to 5, what? You make 100 grand every year for 10 years, you make $1 million. Trading, you might make 10 grand, 25, 50, 100. After those 10 years, you're still going to be the same place where the guy that had a 9 to 5, but you could have done anything you wanted for in your free time and you can just chill or do whatever you want. So it's not really about, oh, I want to be a trader so I can become a fucking billionaire. No, I want to be a trader just because I want to have freedom of time and that is it. And it's not like, okay, maybe if you're trading for 20 years, then eventually you could actually have like a $10 million year, or you work for a prop shop or just something like that. But
yeah,
in
your trading
general, for most
strategies,
traders,
yeah, will change. That's why I'm practicing swing
yeah,
trading, right? Because like once the day trading, I make my few million with the day trading small caps. I don't know if you could really ask for much more from all the traders I've watched. That's why I want to have a good swing trading strategy. So by the time I have my millions I could put in my swing trades from the day trading, I'm not oh, let me learn a new strategy with $1 million. It's more
true.
like,
Yep.
okay, I've been doing this for 5, 6, 7, 8 years. I have a system. Now all I have to do is basically increase my size. And that's why I'm putting a lot of time into my swing trading practice.
Yeah, that's like the phase 2 of a trader. It's
Yeah.
like phase 1 is like just profitable, get one strategy, that's it. And then phase 2 is like you have to diversify everything so you can at least like not be so subjective to only market conditions. Like at least if you can swing trade and day trade and do long-term investing, then it's like you're gonna win at the end no
Yeah.
matter
You
what.
just have to be
So
so disciplined, so disciplined. Yeah, definitely building up a dividend portfolio and all these things I think is really important. Understanding, oh, okay, actually maybe buying some gold right now is pretty good, but that's all down the road. Or you start diving into real estate, but you need
mhm.
basically your second phase as a trader, and I'm kind of getting into that phase, and it's nice because you could get into it pretty quickly. I think both of you guys in a way could get into it. In a way, you're already doing it with your Airbnb stuff. It's actually great because when the market's slow, you work on that second phase stuff. You work on all the
Mhm.
other passive incomes you want to build up, and in the meantime, you're not over trading, and you're giving yourself like, oh, like that's why I took so much time off last year, because I was like, this is not a year where I'm gonna have a new record high. So why am I gonna sit in front
Yeah.
of the computer all day trying to get some trades? I was super happy just to like trade for an hour, make my few hundred or maybe 1,000 or 2,000, whatever it was. I barely had any $2,000 days, so it was pretty slow for me. So I think that's just way more valuable. I mean, ultimately, right, we became traders exactly for what you were saying, for time freedom and to do whatever we want. So some days I would get like annoyed. I'm like, oh, I have a flight today, and then like the market's open. But then I'm like, oh wait, I became a trader so I could do whatever I want. So why am I
Yeah, you didn't have
annoyed
to
right
tell
now?
anyone you were leaving that day.
Yeah, exactly.
Just
So
left.
you have to remind yourself sometimes, because I definitely do get annoyed where I'm like, why am I traveling today? The market's open. But then I'm like, oh yeah, I'm traveling because I can do what I want, you know?
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. But
Yeah. That's definitely phase two. Phase one, I wouldn't. Phase one of a trader getting profitable, I wouldn't take that approach. I would want to be trading every single day,
yeah, that needs to be your focus. Same.
leveling up. Because if you can't get to that phase two, then it's you're not going to be trading for a long time. Because how the hell are you going to survive? You know, how if you're not making money trading, you know, clearly you're gonna have at one point you have to throw in the towel, because you gotta. I mean, you gotta live your life. You know, you gotta make money to pay for, you know, a house or an apartment, or then if you say you have goals to have kids or a wife and own a house and all these things that cost money. You know, eventually you're going to get to the point where you have to throw in the towel if you're not profitable or if you're not making enough to justify doing trading. So until you get through that kind of barrier of to where it's like, okay, now I'm making enough to where I can start to um, lean off of trading every single day and kind of enjoy, you know, the fruits of your labor a little bit. Until you get to that point, it's like you got to be balls to the wall, you know, doing whatever you can to get better, pushing yourself, pushing your sizing, trading every single day, even on the slow days, studying the market, looking at the market, because you know you only have you only have a short opportunity to really make it as a trader, because you know eventually life starts to happen to where you have other goals, and you can't just put your entire life on hold because you want to do this. You know, eventually you can get kicked out of your parents' house. Eventually, you want to buy a house eventually, right? You don't want to be renting forever, or you want to have kids and a wife or a family. Eventually, you want to go travel and do things. So at some point, you know, there's going to be a crossroads in your path. So you want to be able to get through that phase one before that crossroad comes.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I feel like me and you are such different. We're like a cool like dynamic because I'm like not profitable still, and you're like profitable. We started trading at the same exact time. I pivoted once, you didn't at all, and yeah, so I was listening to Alex Hormozy, and he was talking about how whenever people set out to do something, there's like three stages of that. The first one is I'm gonna be a billionaire doing this thing. The second one is okay, I'm not gonna be a billionaire, but I can at least kind of like see that this is gonna be extremely hard. And then phase three is when you're at the bottom and it's like you have no fucking money, everything is awful. This is where 95% of everyone quits. And then phase four is like informed optimism. Like you actually know what you need to do and you know it's possible. And that's like where you actually start to see some success. And for me, I never got to the point where I saw any success. So like I got to the point though, I hit my end of the road where it's like, okay, you need to make money now or you literally will be a fucking homeless person. So do you what are you going to do here? You're going to fucking trade every day and just do this for 8 hours and make no money and be fucking homeless because you're going to have to sell your fucking computer to pay for food. So it's like I got to a crossroad where I had no choice but to do other things that I like to do to try to make money. And now I have like three things that I'm doing that all can potentially, well, two of them make me money and then trading where it's like the potential to make me money. So my biggest fear though is that I'm stopping the trading arc right at the bottom where it was like the absolute hardest, which is right now, right? Because this is my point where it's like, okay, you need to make money or you have to do something else with your time. And I've talked to a couple other guys that have been trading for a long time, and they all said pretty much everyone they know that's a profitable trader had a point in time where they had to do something like that as well, where it's like you have to do something to supplement your income. You can't just live off of trading, especially if it's a really hard year. It's just really fucking hard to do that. So it is like, to me, I feel for a while I was like, okay, no plan B, because there's studies done where if you literally just have the perception of a plan B, you give like 30% less effort to plan A, because you just know that there's an opportunity where you can at least survive if you don't do it. Whereas the people that genuinely think, okay, it's this or death, then those people will succeed faster. So yeah, I don't know what I was even going there, but that was,
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like for me, it's more of like I started out being the no plan B, no plan B. And then it's like, okay, well, if you don't have a plan B, you're going to like lose your girlfriend. You're going to have to move somewhere. You're going to have to, like, I can't pay for food. Like, I can't do anything. It's like, I have to do something. And the only other thing I knew was how to build stuff. So I was like, okay, well, let me try to do that. And that supplemented my income for a little bit. And now I'm like ready to do something bigger with that. So, yeah, it's hard to find a balance between doing multiple things you like to do, and then letting the one fly whenever it actually shows you some fruits of your labor. But at the same time, I don't think it's bad to have multiple things, especially with trading, because the reason why trading and having multiple things is so nice is because trading is so fucking tempting. If you're sitting in front of your computer for 8 hours, you're gonna fucking trade, man.
That's
But if you
exactly
got
right.
something to do at 12, you'll trade and you go do your shit. So it's like now I can just work from 12 to 8 p.m. and I just do all construction stuff. And then from 9 to 11, all I'm doing is trading. And it's really nice because whenever trading is boring and I don't have a setup and I have nothing to do, I'm literally just like, I don't fucking care because I got something to do later today and it's going to make me money. So I'll just avoid today altogether, which makes my all my P&L go up much faster and better than if I'm just sitting in front of my computer for 8 hours a day. So
Yeah. Yeah, I get
yeah.
that. Yeah, it definitely is better. Yeah, it definitely is better. In the beginning, though, in trading, it's like you need to kind of like get it up to speed. You got to like work extra hard just to get it up to speed to where then you can start to kind of back off, and then you can work on your other businesses if you like if you like starting other businesses, or even get like a small part-time job like at nights, bartending or something, like just for socialization and maybe some cash.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
yeah, in the beginning, man, like it's like you only have. I feel like you only have like a certain window of opportunity where it's like it's got to work, or like well, if you draw it out for like if you're not profitable for like 8 years or 10 years, it's like you don't have that same intensity anymore. You'll kind of lose that motivation, not willing to do the hard things anymore because you've just been doing it for so long, and it's like not working out. And like I'd hate to not, I'd hate to like not say like put pressure on yourself, but like we do have to put pressure on yourself. I think you do need to be hard on yourself, and you need to take it super seriously because it's like a big decision to kind of forego those other opportunity costs by pursuing trading. And I'm 20, about to be 27 next Tuesday actually. About to be
Nice.
27, and it's like I'm thinking, man, like I could have had a regular finance job or something, probably making close to 6 figs now, and that's a big opportunity cost. And so this needs to be worth it. I don't want to be in a position where I don't see this through and see my full my potential with this, and then have fucked up like 7 years of opportunity cost. So that's why I put pressure on myself, and that's why it's important to put pressure on yourself, to force yourself, if you have a profitable strategy, to size up. If you're not profitable, force yourself every single day. You should be studying the damn market. You should be journaling. You should be watching the market, watching the open. You should be studying other people you want to trade like, or you look up to, reading books, literally everything under the sun. You should be like busting your ass every minute of the day. I think it's
Yeah.
important to kind of take it seriously.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think one of the best things I did when I first started, I already had some experience from trading crypto and trading a little bit back in New York City, but when I decided to, get back into trading, I basically said, okay, I'm just going to stream every day. And I watched multiple traders recap videos every day as well. So I was just every single day for like 2 years. I basically did the same routine every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that
Yeah.
really helped me go from 0 to 1 pretty quickly. Within like 6 months, I was profitable. And after that, it was pretty much exponential growth. And obviously, the market timing had a little bit to do with that. I started in end of 2019 ultimately, and so I got the 2020 swing, and then 2021 was still nice, but it was already a little bit less profit, I think it was, or actually, I think
Mm-hmm.
2022 is when my curve went down a little bit. So, yeah, you have to get through that phase, and now I'm just in the phase where it's like I have a nice skill set, kind of like that movie. What's it called? I have a skill set. Uh,
Yeah. That's
take
the
it.
beautiful thing about this. Is like
Taken, yeah.
Yeah, taken.
you
So it's
can't re-
like I'm
you
just kind of
can't
waiting
really.
to apply that, and I don't want to learn the wrong lessons in the wrong environments. But yeah, even right now, it is still worth to trade a little bit more and make sure I'm ready for a hotter environment. But
Mhm.
in a summer, and I want to take a month or two off, go for it. But yeah, when you're first starting out, I totally agree with you, man.
Yeah.
Every single day, show up. You got to become the best person. You got to become the person in the chat room that everyone knows because you show up every single day. And if you're not,
Yeah.
you're not showing up enough, for sure.
Absolutely. I think for me, kind of observing your trading the past year, Alex, I think you have a lot more potential than you think that you have, just as far as sizing. I definitely see that you've done lighter size, but I think you can probably double or triple your share size of what you've been doing and actually not see any difference, I guess, in fills, um, or any slippages or any slippage or anything like that on your orders. So I
Yeah.
do think like you're not. I still think you have a lot more potential as far as like immediate results before you actually have to change a strategy if you wanted to make more. But
Yeah, appreciate that.
yeah,
Yeah. That's I agree. I feel like I did leave a little bit of money on the table for taking the gas down. Um, but yeah, I've already been working on sizing and getting more aggressive again. So I'm excited for this year. It well depends on the year,
yeah,
but I'm definitely gonna be pushing a lot harder on size for sure.
yeah, yeah. Me too. Me too.
Yeah, I think we're probably both in the same boat on that. Like our statistics are basically showing that everything we're doing is right. We just need to basically size at this point drastically.
Yeah, and that's like trading psychology too. Mostly trading psychology. It's not really your strategy. It's just your psychology. It's because when you size up, like you activate those fight or flight response and you get attached to the loser, you get attached to the trade. My trades are 50-50. 50% of the trades I lose. So if I'm holding on to even one of those freaking trades, man, like there goes my entire month. So I have to I have to learn to accept that I'm still going to have 50% of my trades losers even if I'm on big size.
Yeah.
But once you're on big size, man, it's like you start sweating, you're shaking, you're like, holy shit, like I'm in like 10K size right now. This has to be a winner. Once you say that, man, it's
Yep.
Yeah.
once you say it has to be a winner, you're gonna take a massive freaking loss, man. And that's happened to me so many times. But I've been really dialing in on the psychology because that's very important with sizing. And that's sort of my journey. Like the first like 8 months, it took me like about 8 or 9 months to get profitable, but sizing up was 10 times harder than figuring out my strategy because my psychology is so like goddamn like it's like a it's like a bird's nest, man. It's like so like mixed up. It's just like a pile of tangled wires, man. I'm really fucked up in the head as far as trading psychology sometimes. So that's what's really been holding me back. But yeah, the trading psychology of just learning to accept that 50% of your trades are going to be losers or winners, or whatever your statistic is for your accuracy. Not holding on to those and accepting that trading is it. I was reading this book and it says trading is. I have it. Trading is. You have to build your trading psychology for a mind of acceptance of probability rather than certainty of outcome. And
Mm.
our biological need is to have a certainty of outcome. And that's what has been holding people back from sizing, is because we need to have that certainty that we won't take a loss, because it's so important. Because now this is the first few trades I'm on big size. It has to be a winner. And we never get past those first few trades of big size because it has to be a winner. This needs to work. And 50% of your trades you're going to lose. What happens when you flip the coin? It's eventually going to happen on tails after a certain period of time. It's not too long to take a big loss, and then you're sized back down because you need to protect yourself. So you need to learn to accept that trading is a probability, and you can't control the outcome. All you can do is kind of control your risk management skill.
That's
So,
a really good point. I wish I would have spent more time. I feel like I spent 3 years just trying to find a strategy, which I think it is a little bit harder to find a strategy in indices because there's more factors, more competition.
Yeah.
But once I found it, I should have just immediately just been like, okay, it's there. Goodbye. That's the strategy. I don't know if it's going to be a profitable one or not until 6 months pass at least. And then once I figure that out, that's all discipline, psychology, waiting for your setup, waiting and waiting and waiting and being patient like a hunter rather than going into the market like thinking I'm just going to go pick berries off a fucking bush every day. It's like, no, it's not a gathering profession. It's a hunting profession. So it's like,
yeah.
you have to sit in the woods for fucking a week and then you finally see something and then you've got to go.
That's a
So,
great
but that,
analogy.
yeah, I just thought of that. I was like, fuck, that actually sounded kind of cool for trading.
It's a hunter profession, not a gathering profession. So good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
So true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So true.
yeah,
Yeah, if you're friends
yeah.
with any hunters or fishermen, you definitely know. Like, most of the time they go out there. I did a whole entire Scotland trip, and we're just like for days. You don't see shit. And you maybe see a deer every now and then, but then like oh crap, we missed that one. All right, let's keep looking. So that's really what it is. You're not. Yeah, that's a great analogy. Nothing's guaranteed. It's a total probability game.
Yeah, it's and whenever you go out like and hunt, you never go fucking hungry. Don't be hungry when you go hunting because you're gonna make noises, you're gonna spook things, you're gonna shoot the first deer you see that's like tiny as fuck or you know what I mean? Like you want to be on a full stomach. So like that's why it's important for trading. Like if you don't have any money, it's extremely difficult to make it. You have to have a job in the meantime, something. And like we're young as fuck. We can work 15 hours a day. If it would suck, of course, yeah. But we're young. You only have this chance one time for 10 years of your life, from 20 to 30. You're probably going to be able to work for 15 hours a day, unless you want to be a billionaire like Mark Cuban and all those guys. But they all fucking hate their families and they don't have any relationships other than just loving money. So it's like, unless you want like a balance, if you want a balanced life and you want a family and kids and you want to like actually do something, you got to kind of finish the money phase by 30-ish. Like you got to at least have some money so you can at least like start figuring out those other things. And
Oh yeah, I totally agree with that. Plus, the second you get a
yeah,
girlfriend,
I'd say you could push it to 35.
yeah, for sure, I
36.
think so as well. But there's
you
definitely
got to have
that
some
part.
kind of income by 30. Fuck.
Yeah,
Something.
Yeah.
the girlfriend's not gonna let you always work that long. I have sometimes discussions with my girlfriend about this. It's like, listen, I got to get this done, and she'd be like, but we're supposed to hang out tonight. It's like, listen, we can hang out when there's kids, like, but
Yeah,
until
yeah.
then, like, I don't got time to hang out right now. I mean, she gets it, but yeah,
Yeah,
for
I had the
sure.
same conversation with my girlfriend. We had like a New Year's like just discussion where we spent like an hour just like what do we want this year? What are all the things? And I was like I need you to know that this year my New Year's resolution is that I want to make sure that I'm like auditing my time. I want to know exactly what I'm doing at all moments of the day. I don't want to waste any more anything. So I told her I was like, just so you know, like if you want to get married, you want to have kids, you want to do anything fun, I'm probably not going to see you from Monday through Friday. So, I mean, but like we've been getting lunches actually, and I don't know if anyone else is like in a similar boat, but that shit is actually extremely nice. Like getting a lunch every day for an hour in the middle of like from 4 to 5 every day, we eat lunch, we eat dinner together. I guess it's like dinner. And then I go back to work after that. And it's really nice because that like kind of satiates our like, oh, we don't even see each other and all that kind of stuff. So
We do
I would
something
highly
similar.
recommend
We
lunches.
do our we'll go to the park. We'll have lunch after, yeah, so we go to the park where there's a workout in calisthenics, and like we work out outside, and then we'll have lunch together. It's like a full hour and a half break right
Yep.
midday. For me, I can do it really good because of Europe, because I do like my morning work session, then I have the big midday break, and then I start trading and all this other stuff. So it's a good break for me, actually. I prefer to take that break. If I don't do it, it goes from like one work to the next, and then I go crazy.
Yep.
So yeah, it's good that you found that activity for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, exercising together is also a really good one because that's just a healthy habit you should have in the first place. And if you do it with your partner, it's so much more like, fuck, like I don't want, well, me and my girlfriend, we've been working out early in the morning because that's like the only time I have to work out. I don't want to work out at 9 p.m. before I go to sleep. So we wake up early and it's like every morning we wake up, it's like, well, who's gonna get up first? And it's like hard as fuck to get out of bed when it's cold as fuck outside and it's like whatever 6 a.m. But it makes you feel more like, well, I'm not gonna be the bitch that didn't work out today. Like
Yeah.
I'm getting the fuck up. So it's nice.
I don't know if my girlfriend's like it or not, but I'm the one who wakes up like first thing, like ready to go, and she's just like,
Uh-huh.
no.
Yeah.
I'm basically her alarm clock.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's good or
That's
not
funny.
for her.
Girlfriends are a lot of time.
Yeah, it's a
Take a lot
commitment,
of
but
time.
yeah.
Yeah,
Speaking
Alex
of that,
brought up a really good. Sorry, go ahead, Tom.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, me and my girlfriend my ex-girlfriend broke up in November, and funny enough, man, soon after that happened, I'm in the best shape of getting in the best shape of my life. I'm having the biggest green days ever. I had my biggest month in December. I got more time than anything. I'm just pretty much putting all my extra time now into studying. It's
Yeah,
been
that's
paying off,
good.
but yeah, it's a lot of time. Believe it or not, like you don't understand really until it's gone. But like how much time that you put into that. Like literally, my routine was I would trade for like 2 hours in the morning, then I would work like my 8 hour shift, and then I'd be done with my 8 hour shift, and now it's like, oh, she wants to spend time. She wants to like we just sit on the couch, eat ice cream, and fucking watch Netflix. And I'm like, God damn it! I'm spending 3 hours of my day watching Netflix, eating ice cream. I should not be doing this at 27, 26 years old. I
Yeah,
should be
no.
out getting after it, working out, studying, getting shit done. Like, so
Yeah,
but that's sort of
yeah,
what happened with
you
that.
have to tell them, they have to understand, and if your partner doesn't understand, then it's a big problem. Sure, if you're, 35, 40, 50 and you're not hanging out with the family and kids and you're,
Hmm.
that's like that's a different problem. But like right
Yeah.
now, mid
Yeah.
25, I'm 31. I thought I was 32 for a while, and then my girlfriend reminded me I'm 31, and I felt like I gained a year. It was so
That's
nice.
funny.
Uh, but yeah, like we have other priorities right now. So it's like, listen, I don't have time. My girlfriend always understands. Well, not always, but I think gotten to the point where she understands like I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a trader, and like I don't have that luxury that a lot of people do in terms of like especially in Europe, like employees. I feel like they're never working. So it's
Yeah.
I just yeah.
I heard someone say this before, and I was like, "Oh wow, that's a really cool way to put it." And I forget exactly how he framed it, but it was something like, "What is your most important, like, if you could pick relationship, health, and work, what's the number one?" And obviously, it should always be
Health.
health first, and then work. And people will say, "Oh, you can't put your relationship above work," and it's like, hold on. First of all, this may only apply mostly to men in general because I just don't. I feel like men need to provide. If you don't provide, you're kind of just a waste of space. You're not needed. Like, it's like a beehive, bro. Like, they kill all the men every year because they don't fucking need them. Like, men just eat and fuck shit up. Like, we don't really like provide much in terms of like creating a sustainable like actual human life like a woman does. And if you have to put your relationship above your work and you have to have that suffer, you have nothing then. Like there is no reason to live if you have nothing to work on. Like every single person out there, if like retiring is usually a shitty thing for most men. Like when they go to, oh, I'm 65, I'm finally gonna retire. Then they get fat, they don't want to fucking do anything, or they're just like, I'm bored as hell all day, I have no friends. It's like, we should have shit to do all the time. And like having a passion is so important. And then it was also kind of funny, I was going to bring up the fact that Alex is like talking about how people in Europe don't work at all. And it's like he wants to work all day and he's an entrepreneur. That's literally what being an entrepreneur is. If you think you're going to work less because you're an entrepreneur, you're a fucking, maybe when you're 50, or like if you sell a company at 30, or you whatever are making so much money it's dumb by the age of 35 and you can just have kids. But usually if you're an entrepreneur, you're probably working like 7 to 7, not
Yeah.
9 to 5. Okay.
Yeah.
It's not, yeah. So if this is something that you're actually like passionate about, just be fully 100% prepared to make it your life's work, because if it's not, you're not going to make it, and you're going to be pissed that you're not making any money in the meantime while you're 27 and all your friends are fucking getting married and they all have 60 grand saved in their IRAs. And like every single person that I went to college with, I mean, not everyone, but there are like quite a few people that are like getting married soon, like they're about to have families, and it's like, I can't fucking do that shit at all yet. I'm not even close. Like, are you kidding me? I mean, I got years of work before I can do anything like that, and that makes me sad, genuinely. And that's the cost.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's the beauty about being a man, though. You can hold out for a while
a little bit
without
longer,
your
that's
eggs
true.
drying up because you don't get eggs. But
True.
yeah, it seems definitely it's a more of a masculine thing of health, work, relationship, and then a feminine is flip work and relationship and family.
Yep.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
Meet Kevin is like 32 or 33, and he's got 4 kids. So, and he works like an
Wow.
animal. I don't know if this guy ever doesn't
Yeah.
work. It's freaking absurd.
he's got so much money though, probably, so he can probably
Yeah,
buy
he's
his
got
time
that
back.
private jet, which helps. But
Yeah, true.
yeah, you definitely want to have a nice little a cushion and some consistency. And that's why right now, exactly what Tom was saying. Like, I don't have time to watch Netflix and eat ice cream because you really don't. So,
Dude, your time is so much more valuable young, bro.
yeah, you gotta
And
find
and
someone that
honestly, money
understands.
too, because you got the time value of compound interest.
True.
Dude, there's so much. Yeah, there's so much. I have a question here for the audience and for you guys. If we should do anything between for the podcast Tuesdays or Thursdays, does it make more sense to start it at the beginning of the week, kind of talk about our plans going forward, or more the end of the week and do like a retrospect, and then the time 11 a.m. or noon. That's what I've been trying to figure out. I'm not really sure. We could always switch it as well, but I think a little bit of consistency for the audience would also be good.
I love 11. I don't really like 12. Just because I like starting other things around noon.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and then Tuesday, Thursdays, I have genuinely zero preference for that.
I feel the same way. I'm not really sure
Yeah.
which one I would do. Tom, any thoughts in the anyone watching?
I mean, yeah, Tuesday or Thursday wouldn't really matter, I guess, too much for me. I'm free either. But yeah, I think 11 works for me too, as far as Eastern time. Like I don't like to have, I guess like middle of the day is like, I don't know. It's either I haven't eaten breakfast yet at 12 or, like I'm starving and then we have the podcast and I don't eat till 1. But I guess I could squeeze it in early. I don't really care. It doesn't really matter.
All right. Yeah, that's kind of where we're at. I feel the same way, where it's kind of like, yeah, either could really work. It does seem like 11 it seems to be fitting better. I think that's one thing everyone agrees on over 12. And then I guess beginning of the week we could keep doing. John is saying beginning of the week here in the chat as well. So yeah, if you're watching this on playback, let us know in the comments, or obviously in the Discord where we hang out every single at least weekday. But yeah, any thoughts going forward here before we wrap it? We had a great conversation today. One
What's
longer
your
than
biggest
expected.
goals for 24?
Say what?
What's your biggest goals for 2024? One goal.
Tom, you go first.
My goal is the sizing. My goal is sizing. I want to be in between my average position size between 5,000 on a slower day, 5,000 on like let's say not a hot market, and then in a hot market I need to be 10,000. So between that window throughout the year, $5,000 and $10,000 position size.
Yeah, in the trading world, I feel the same as Tom. That's kind of been my goal that was my original goal for 2023, but it turned into a really slow year, and I didn't feel like sizing was my priority. So this year, yeah, I really do want to size. I hate seeing my average size like around below 3,000, which right now it is. It just like irritates me. I'm like, I should be doing way more than that. And not being scared to like punch it even to like 30K size if it's like a hot ticker in, sometimes you just know you're like, this is the setup I was waiting for. And then you punch it with like average size and you have a great trade. And you're like, why the heck was I only in $3,000 on like the best setup I've been waiting for? And that happens to me. Like I feel often like in my bones where I'm like, this is the move, Sure, sometimes it doesn't work out, but like you just kind of know after you do it long enough. And like when those things happen, when you see that setup, just punch it. And yeah, that will help the average size as well.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. You need confidence too. And if it's a hot market, you can make that. Even if you take a big rip, you can make that back in a couple of days. So you really don't have much to lose, right?
we see it with Danny's and Ross. They're just like, oh, 3K loss, boom, and then right back into like a 6K winner. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So you just got to get used to it. It's the same as taking a $300 loss and a $600 winner. It happens to me. It happens all the time. Tom, I'm sure it happens to you as well. It's just like you gotta, it's just relevant. It's all relevance, whatever you're used to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. How about you, Colby?
Trading goal is to trade only strategy, the only one I have. I don't want to do anything else. I want to try to make sure that every single time I trade, I'm 100% confident that this is the exact setup that I was here for and this is what I'm doing, and not trying to like force any money anymore like I did for the last 3 years and jumping around all the time. So that's trading. And then in life, I want to just make sure that I'm very deliberate with like my hours that I have throughout the day. Like I want to make sure that there's so much time in the day. And I remember like when I was trading for the first 2 years, I would trade from 9 to 4 every day and just be blasting orders in the market and being like, hard day in the markets. And it's like, I didn't fucking learn anything doing that. I mean, don't get me wrong. You learn a little bit from doing that, but you learn a much more from observing the market, studying the market, and doing all that than actually intentionally trading. So it's like, yeah, I just want to make sure that I know every single moment of the day, like, what am I actually doing? Am I just chilling at 12 o'clock to 4 just because, and I'm like pretending that it's like work because I'm on my computer and the screen's up and I'm like reviewing like stats or just some dumbass thing. It's like, is that actually helping me? Like, I want to make sure every single thing I'm doing throughout the day is genuinely going to create the future that I want, not me like pretending like I'm doing work. So yeah, I want to audit my time. That's my main goal.
I like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
My calendar, I always title my journals for the year, and to me, I said going all in. It's 10x what works, cut what doesn't, and so that kind of fits that theme. Last year was more like, and I forgot what the title of my journal was. It was a bit more like around restructuring and like kind of like getting a foundation. I wasn't so worried about 10xing, but I feel like this year is a bit different. I mean, who knows what the market's going to do, but I know with all my other activities in my life and, just random activities I don't care about, I want to cut those. And yeah, I feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we all do a lot of things that we don't really actually give a shit about. And like, there's a lot of things I would do every day that I didn't even care about. And it's like, dude, that's like 2 hours times fucking 7 days a week. That's 14 hours a week times 4 hours a month. That's, what, 28 times 2? Yeah, it's a lot of hours that you can be doing something else. And dude, if you're an entrepreneur type of person and you're actually spending time doing something in terms of business, trading, anything, and you literally like set a timer one day, and every single time you're like doing something that's not intentionally exactly what you're doing, like watching a YouTube video or anything, you'd be surprised. There's multiple hours throughout the day where you're really not working that hard. And if there's people doing 9 to 5s and they're just getting a salary, chilling and working 8 hours a day, well, if you want to create that for yourself, you better be working at least like 10 hours a day. So, and that's really not that crazy. And the first time I ever like actually started trying to work a full 8 hours doing like an intentional thing, bro, you will be amazed at how much shit you actually get done. It's like mind blowing the first time, like for construction at least it was, because I would be like, oh, I'm just going to work 4 hours every day. And that was like a part-time job ish. But now that I'm doing like a full 12 to 8 p.m. every day, it's like, bro, in 8 hours, I do what I thought I could do. I thought it would take me 2 weeks to do this. And it took me fucking one day. And it's like, it's ridiculous. So make sure you're like super intentional with all the time you have, because we're young and this is the only time where we actually have a pretty damn good excuse to be working like 12-hour days. If you have a kid, family, wife, kid, like all that shit, it's going to be way harder to do that. So while you have the time and effort and you're young and you're like, you can actually do that kind of shit, and you're not going to want to do that when you're 40 years old, but do it.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's good.
Yeah. Well, on that
Yep.
note, let's get to it. Everyone,
Yeah, seriously, I got to fucking go.
let's go. All right, guys. It was a
All
great
right.
first pod of the year. Pod number 44, or was it 45? I think it's 44. So
Nice.
see everyone
Wow.
next week, I guess, same time, 11 a.m. And then Tuesdays. And if anything happens, I'll be sure to post it anywhere if there's any skipping or something like that. I know the last few weeks I was a little bit MIA on that. Being sick totally threw me off. And then being on my trips, I didn't have enough hours in the day. So let's get to it. All right, guys.
Sweet.
All right.
boys.
Sounds good.
Ciao,
Take it easy,
everyone.
guys.
See ya.